what has been your most fun investment? Not the most profitable. What has been the most fun?
So many different ways to define fun.
Well, how do you define fun? How does Dan define fun? Is it the CEO's fun? Is it the company's vision? Is that the exciting part? What one sticks in your mind? Like, hey, you know what? I had a lot of fun with that company.
Well, I would say Trupanion has been as rewarding as any in terms of fun for me.
Yeah.
So I get a call in 2006 from a guy who at the time was an EIR at Benchmark. And he says, Benchmark looked at this, really think it's an interesting business, but it's not going to grow really fast, but I think it's got a lot of potential. You should meet this guy. So I meet this guy. He comes by. I'm in New York. We meet in New York, and a lot of times it doesn't click. But in this particular time, I just kind of felt that this guy, something said to me,
this guy's got it.
He's quiet, but something special here. So, so I got to know his business, and he had a 4,000 pet health insurance company in a place called Bowen Island. Has anyone been to Bowen Island? Okay.
2 people.
Outside of Vancouver, Vancouver, BC, right? So, so I got to go. So I'm intrigued by this. So I fly up to Bowen Island, and Kenmore Air takes me up there, and I land in a seaplane in this outer island outside of Vancouver, and walk up the hill, and he's got 7 people in his company, and he has arranged for me to meet all 7 people.
Sure.
And
is he Canadian?
He's Canadian.
Okay.
Yeah. If your name is Daryl and you're Canadian, we'll fund you. If there's anyone in the audience whose name is Daryl and you're Canadian, we'll fund you. That's a different joke. Anyhow, so I'm going through these meetings, and you know, it strikes me how early stage this company is. And then I meet a guy named David, and so shake his hand. He's kind of a middle-aged guy, and I say, "Why are you here, David?" And he says, "Well, you know, I'm a territory partner for this company." It wasn't called Trupanion at the time, and I also am the father of the CEO. And so I said, okay. Hadn't seen this situation before where a guy, as one of 7 employees, hires his father. And so the father tells me this story that, lo and behold, from the age of 16, his son has wanted to create the world's leading pet health insurance company. I was like, really? And he said, yeah, loves animals, this and that. And that's what he wanted to do. And you know, here he is 6 years into that odyssey. And it was really interesting because getting back to one of our key things for entrepreneurs is, why is this person advantaged? Why will this person continue to just persevere in the face of challenges? And so that was a really interesting data point. Yeah. Anyhow, so I came home, and my partner said, you don't know anything about insurance, forget about this deal. And I couldn't forget about the deal. And I didn't know anything about insurance.
Sure.
So they said...
But you know somebody that does.
Well, so they said, go out and find somebody who knew insurance. And total happenstance, I met a guy from my fraternity who hooked me up with another guy from my college fraternity who I hadn't spoken to either one of them in 15 years. And so we found an insurance company. And then I said, you know, then they said, well, you don't know anything about, or, you know, we need to raise the rest of the money and we're only putting up X. Anyhow, there was a bunch of milestones. We got through it all. We did the funding. And first thing we said is, okay, we need to augment this guy's passion and vision with a operating guy. And the first operating guy we found didn't work out. And so the board gets into this kind of rope-a-dope routine and feels like they're paralyzed because, you know, we were 0 for 1 in terms of the fit.
It was your guy, right?
Wasn't, well, it was close to my guy.
Yeah, but no, I'm just saying it was the board's guy.
Yeah.
Their guy. They're putting him in.
We were convinced it was going to work, and it did. Anyhow, so going from that to a company that's really incredibly fully staffed. Well, what I didn't say is So during the courting process, this guy, Darryl Rawlings, says to me, we really want Matt around. We think he can add a lot of value. I said, okay, why don't you move from Bowen Island to Seattle if you think we can add a lot of value? Next day he calls me up and he says, I spoke to my wife. We'll move if you guys do the deal. You know, again, really interesting data point that says to me, this guy is serious. Yeah. And it's been exciting to kind of watch that and fun. And we've gotten to know each other really as people. And it's exciting for me to think what comes next for him. And, you know, he's made it very clear to me that he wants to do this for 15 years.
Sure. That's his passion.
Yeah, exactly.